I love making music, and I've been writing songs since I was, 12. I think that it is just such a powerful, powerful thing in our lives, and it's something that I use also in acting, because I think that there's a musicality to a character's voice,
Yeah.
the placement of where his or her voice is, the rhythm, the various dialects. Dialects are really all music, pitch and placement and rhythm and tone. So it has been very important to me.
Your brother Michael, who you've already mentioned, he was 9 years older than you. Was he someone that, with that age gap, I guess the richness of that is that he's passing you down records? Like, was he a big musical influence to you?
Yes, absolutely. My brother Michael was playing in bands, and playing as a solo artist as well. Sitting in the house sometimes, listening to him write songs. Very, very influential on me. In fact, he was in a duo. They broke up, and he went off on a solo act when I was probably about 13. I said 13 or 14, and he came to me and said, "You're in the band. You're going to play percussion." And I was like, "Wow, okay." So that was my first taste of actually going into a club and playing music for a paid audience. It was a bass player, my brother on guitar, and a woman singing background.
What was the band called?
Michael Bacon.
Okay.
Yeah, we were a backup band for Michael Bacon. Now, earlier though, I had played in a band that wasn't a professional band, but it was in a community center, and that band, believe it or not, was called Footloose.
What?
Yeah.
Did you manifest your future?
It's pretty weird,
So what,
right?
you're like 12, 13, and you're playing in a band called Footloose?
Yes, absolutely. We were a backup band for a guy named Chet Brown, who was a soul singer, and it was Chet Brown and Footloose.
So when you got that script that landed on you in the mail that day of Footloose, here's me film, you're like, hang on a minute.
Yeah, yeah, really.
Is someone watching me?
Yeah, I know. It's pretty weird, pretty strangely prophetic.
It's so wild.
And yeah, just that was just the way things turned out.
You have been playing with Michael as the Bacon Brothers for 30 years now.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. When you first started playing, and I guess playing in a much more public role, you'd established yourself as an actor. Were you ever worried about that actor/musician cynicism that goes along with that?
Was I worried about it? Listen, what I knew was that it was going to be there.
Yeah.
And, my point of view was, okay, that's, what are you going to do? And I knew it was going to be there because I have the same cynicism, right? If I hear about somebody being in a band, I'm like, oh, great,
Which, frankly, is a bit rich coming from you.
It is. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense at all. It's ended up being okay, and the reason is because we never went in with any kind of big backing machine. In other words, if we had gone out and said, okay, Columbia Records, you got to give us, whatever, $1 billion to make a record, and now the kid from Footloose has a band, and here it comes, and you know what I mean? But what we did was went to very tiny little clubs and just started playing. And I'd never played out before, a little bit. I'd played with Michael a little bit, and I played in Footloose. But to stand up there and take our songs, some of which were my songs, and play and sing in front of people was a terrifying, terrifying proposition.
That's so fascinating, given that you said that as a wannabe actor as a little kid, all you could dream of was standing in front of people, and yet when you're out there as a musician, that's terrifying to you.
It is terrifying. I can tell you that even in the what's called the Strasberg School of Acting thought, you do an exercise called a singing exercise, and basically what you do is you stand in front of the class, no instrument, and you sing one song. It could be any song. It could be Happy Birthday, Row, Row, Row Your Boat. You just go, row, row, and you just do this in front of people. Sounds like nothing, right? It's not even karaoke. I saw so many times when I was in acting school actors reduced to a pile of tears and shaking and whatever, because singing is a vulnerable thing to do. Now, if you add to that, my dog died, and so I wrote this song about my dog, that becomes even more, vulnerable. If you add to that the fact that I didn't think of myself as a guitar player, like, at all. And my brother said, "You're going to play in the band." I was like, "No, I'm not." He said, "But we have to have two guitars. Uh, I don't want to just be the only one playing." So I started to have to play in front of people. So all of those things combined made for absolute terror. The first show that I did, my knees were literally knocking. It's one of the few times I've experienced that. And we got through it, and enjoyed it. So yes, I was certainly, to answer your question, aware that there would be a certain amount of cynicism around the idea, and there still is. That's okay, because there are people that dig the music, and I'm not reliant on it as a full-on career. I've got another career that's going great. So for me, it's a chance to connect with that group of people that night. And I came from the theater. I did a lot of theater when I first moved to New York, off Broadway mostly. And theater was incredibly important to me. And one of the things that I loved about it is the fact that for that moment, you are sharing this very special experience with this audience, and they're sharing it with you. It could go bad, it could go well, anything could happen, right? Who knows? But it's never going to be the same. Even if you're saying the same lines and you're hitting the same marks or whatever, it's still not going to be the same. You're still going to be in this kind of live dance. Very different than making a film or television show. So I love to have that live piece in my life. It's butterflies. You don't know if I'm playing a show in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we've never played there before. We don't know. They don't tell us how many people are going to be out there. You could break a string, you could get a heckler, you could forget a lyric. It's live.
It's joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.